Continuing now our week of books, we take an intimate look at the fight for women's rights in Saudi Arabia. Jeffrey Brown has the latest addition to the NewsHour bookshelf.
In May 2011, Manal El-Sharif drove a car. That is remarkable only because it happened in Saudi Arabia, where women are banned from driving and many other activities in what most of us would consider normal daily life. She was arrested and spent 9 days in prison before an international outcry helped gain her release. She's continued her activism for women's rights, now living outside her native country, and she's written her story in the new book, Daring to Drive, A Saudi Woman's Awakening. I want to ask you first about this idea of an awakening, because you write about yourself in your early life,
yes,
very much part of the system. When a group of women drove in 1990 and as a kind of public protest, you scorned them.
Yes.
But something happened to you.
Because we got the wrong story. They didn't have a voice. We heard about them. We didn't hear from them. Till the moment of truth came to me in 2011 when I started my own campaign and I got to know their story. They're my inspiration.
What did you see in the system? You refer to it as the guardianship system.
Yes, yes. The male guardianship system is the one, the source of all evil when it comes to women's rights in my country, where I am 38, mother of 2, and an engineer, but I'm still a minor. I'm legally minor. I need a permission from a man to do anything in my life, and that man could be my father, my husband, and it could be even my own son if he's an adult.
This affects all parts of daily life.
Every single part of your life.
Is there any space where you feel of freedom or freedom to act or move?
Things been losing now. One of them is, for example, going to school. Now I don't have to get permission to go to school or open a bank account. Imagine these things I had to get a permission to do before.
So driving became the symbol, right? Why driving?
Nothing will emancipate women in my country like driving, because it gives them a sense of independence, it gives them a sense of liberty and freedom. And that breaks all the things that have been learned and brainwashed with, that we have to be obedient to these unjust laws and we're weak, we cannot take decisions by our own. This will give independence to women. This is what I believe, at least.
What is it that keeps the system in place, the system of the gender relations?
2 things, men prejudice and women submission. These 2 things need to be changed to change the system.
How much is it changing? How strong is the movement? I mean, I see even recently, in recent weeks, there have been some arrests of women for various kinds of behavior.
True. Yeah. There have been arrests for some of the leaders for this movement, which is good, by the way. That means they're recognizing it's influential and it's making an impact. The millennial generation, the internet native generation of women, are changing they're changing the rules of the game in Saudi Arabia. They're outspoken, they're fearless, they're courageous, and they really don't submit to the rules my generation submitted to. And I do believe women have the key to change. If they break the wall of fear, if they challenge these unjust laws, and I've been told always respect the law, and I use a line from suffragettes. It says, I will respect laws that respects me.
You're quoting the suffragettes, and you clearly studied your history, women's history. What is it that, for you, caused that change? I mean, of learning all of this history and wanting to become part of it.
Do you know, when I started, I've been always an activist and I didn't know. I've never read about other feminists or activists. But when you face so much backlash, so much hardship, so much pain, you seek relief in places and history stories that happen to the same people doing the same things that you're doing. So I started watching movies about the women's rights movement. I mean, the movement to get the women vote in the U.S. I watched suffragettes. I read Rosa Parks' book. And I was amazed by the similarities between my story and them. And I'm studying how they changed the system by the non-violent, the civil disobedience and non-violent struggle. And it made sense to me when I was watching these things. The civil rights movement itself removed the black people, put Saudi women. This is exactly the situation in Saudi Arabia today.
You go through the book through many experiences that you had of being in prison, of having to leave the country, having to leave
My
one
own
of your
son.
children
Yes.
behind from your former marriage. Do you have regrets now? What is your life like now?
Jeff, I do have a lot of regrets in my life. I think we are all, as humans, we do have regrets. But the speaking up, I've never regretted that. Because if I didn't speak up, I would lose myself.
All right, the book is Daring to Drive, Manal El-Sharif. Thank you very much.
Thank you.